I would say to anybody out there looking for an accounting firm or looking for financials to be as tight and right as possible, PCO Bookkeepers can do that for you. In my experience, talking to other people, they're going to do it second to none because of their understanding of the industry, being like pest control specific. I am the owner of Pest Control Consultants. We're located about an hour west of Chicago, cover the north suburbs, but we have offices located in Iowa and Wisconsin as well. We do have a small branch down in Springfield, Illinois, about 3 hours south of where I'm located right here. I bought my dad out in 21, but in the fall of 20, we had a serious bookkeeping issue within our company. We were using QuickBooks Online. My sister, who was our office manager with no accounting experience, was handling most of our financial reports. And like many of us in the pest control industry, you get going during the summer months and you're busy selling subscriptions, out servicing accounts, hiring technicians. We would get way backed up on our financial reports. And so we didn't really ever know how much money we were keeping in our company. We just looked at our bank statements and kind of determined our success based on how much money was in the bank, because we had too much going on to keep up on those monthly P&L reports, those regular balance sheets, things like that. So I was searching for something, knowing my sister, God bless her, she was a great sales rep and handled our office relatively well, but she just wasn't, she didn't have that accounting background. And so when I found PCO Bookkeepers, what intrigued me was the fact that they work with so many of the top 100 pest control firms in North America, and they specialize in pest control and the financing that comes with that. So we demoed with them, and shortly after that, I think we started with them in September of 2020, just a few months before I took over entirely the operations of our pest control company from my dad. Yeah, I mean, immediately they reconciled with our QuickBooks Online. When I say we were backed up, and we were obviously paying our bills every month, but we weren't charting them in QuickBooks. And so they got into our QuickBooks Online account, cleaned that up immediately. They got integrated with our checking account, our American Express business credit card accounts, and started reconciling everything from the, when they took over to the end of the month. So we would receive these financial reports every month from them that kind of showed every penny we were spending dialed down, to the, to every little expense we had was filtering through their P&L report so we could see exactly how much money we were keeping within our company. Yeah, so immediately I got connected with Brian Post, and he would just ask me basic questions about our company, a little bit of a history, where we were going, kind of what our financial targets were, and he was able to be very, I would say transparent in terms of what they needed from us to get started, and then he would provide us, all the details. It wasn't like we were ever embarrassed with the fact that our financials weren't super clean when we started with them. There was a lot of work they had to do to get us to, up to speed, if you will. But just talking to them via email, over the phone, they would ask for documents, ask for username, passwords so they can integrate with our softwares and whatnot. And it was super easy to get started. And even though it was intimidating at first, tackling that financial issue, going through the onboarding process, they made it super easy because they communicated so well and they never made you feel like shameful for not having your finances dialed in, and they came in and fixed things really, really quickly. Yeah, no doubt. It was always super stressful, not really being sure. We were always trying to fix those financial reports within our company. I was on my sister pretty hot about getting P&L reports out every month. But again, she got so busy, she wasn't able to do them, and she wasn't educated on how to put them together, properly. So having that burden on PCO allowed me to go out and sell more accounts without wondering, hey, how much money are we actually making? Where do we stand in our business? And obviously, one of the silver linings was we were a very profitable pest control business. We didn't entirely know how profitable we were until they kind of got into our finances and kind of shook things up, reconciled, connected all the dots. And made things happen for us. And once we were able to get financials that were clean, when we needed to go down to the banks to buy trucks, of course, they want to see your financials. They want to see your P&L reports, your balance sheets. And when we were able to send them some of the stuff PCO prepared they asked us, hey, how soon do you want this truck? Just sign here and we'll have it. We'll release the funds. And the same became true in acquisitions. We pursued acquisitions of other companies. We've done 9 of them since 2019, and we would not have been able to get those deals done without the financials that PCO Bookkeepers has provided to us. And it's our banks. We work with local banks, and we work with presidents and vice presidents of those banks, and they absolutely love our financial reports that we provide to them when we need lines of credits, we need to go out and get loans for vehicles, or we need to we're interested in acquiring other companies that require a lot of money borrowed from the banks. That's awesome. That was a huge reason why, because we had an accountant that was local to our market, good guy, good firm, but it was just not, he just didn't have the ins and outs that PCO Bookkeepers does. One of the main things I loved about them was their key performance indicators that they provide. They stack you up against their other clients, and they grade you based on the industry norm or what everybody else is doing. They've got everything dialed down to a science in terms of how you're performing against your competitors, and they give you grades on that, and getting those in those financial reports every month is super nice to see. And it gives you a quick little indicator of, hey, am I doing well in this area? If not, they help you out and kind of teach you how to improve that. And if you are doing well, they make you feel really, really good about it, letting you know, hey, I thought we had this dialed in, but when you see it all on paper with data that supports it, it's a great feeling to know you're running your company, lean and making money. He usually immediately responds to an email, and we go through all of my questions, all of my concerns. With his extensive accounting background, he lets me know all my personal liability, what that means for me, what that means for the entity. So yeah, Brian and I have really gotten to know each other over the last couple years. Usually in November, I'll get a call from Brian to review our year from a tax standpoint, which is another thing that I love about PCO Bookkeepers. And we kind of go through, hey, here's where I'm looking in terms of tax liability. Here's some things that could be done to reduce tax liability. And what I mean by that is, hey, this money's going to be owed to the IRS, or I can go out and buy 3 new trucks for the next, for the coming year. I can go out and get new equipment. I can go out, we can talk about how we're going to do end of year bonuses for our employees, all those things that reduce liability. And when I say Brian has been so good in that area for me that, when he tells me, hey, I'm going to owe a bunch of money, and then I go out and do everything we spoke about doing to reduce that liability, it's within very, very fine margin how accurate he is when my taxes are due, and then when we execute that game plan. So having somebody like that come October, November, when you're a growing, scaling company like we are, we've got just under 70 employees in 3 states. So we're always on the move. We're always looking to avoid tax liability like everybody is. That is one of the key pieces that Brian provides and his team. Yeah, without their financials, it was interesting for us because I was buying my dad out in January 1st, 2021. They came into play in the fall of 20. So we just didn't have a grasp on our company before they came into place on how much money was in our business. We didn't have clean P&L reports. We didn't even really know the valuation of our company. As I had to buy my dad out. They helped us through that process through evaluation. They helped us we created another entity to absorb the shares that my dad and I had. So they helped us so much in that regard. And again, once we started getting clean financials, we were able to kind of see, okay, here's where we're at. Here's where we would like to get. And that means top line revenue, bottom line revenue, the law of 23 that they talk about in their financial reporting, really dialing in the financial data. And then when we were, we had a vision to acquire companies and we had clean financials, we would show those to the bankers, and the bankers would say, this is really good stuff. Like you're running you're making money, and these financial reports support that. And then we were able to get deals done. And Brian's jumped on calls with our bankers. He's provided more insight to them in terms of what we're trying to achieve on our behalf. And some of those things, we do pay a fee for their services, of course, but they go above and beyond at times doing things where, in the past, other accountants, you'll step into the room, speak with them for 30 minutes, and you'll get a $250 bill in the mail. You'll go, what is this for? And they're charging you for their time. They're charging you for what they know. PCO, you don't get that. You shoot an email, they send you an email back, they jump on a call with you, you bounce ideas, and you're able to kind of move forward to execution. Yeah, and I absolutely have recommended them to a handful of business owners in the pest control space that I've got connected with. I think some of them have gone over and used their service. But I would say to anybody out there looking for an accounting firm or looking for financials to be as tight and right as possible, PCO Bookkeepers can do that for you. In my experience, talking to other people, they're going to do it second to none because of their understanding of the industry being like pest control specific. They've helped us so much. They've taken so much stress off our a burden off of us. We can focus solely on growing our pest control business, knowing that they have our backs on the financial side and the tax side. I mean, all of that strategy, acquisitions, mergers, exits down the road. When we talk about potentially moving on, they're your one-stop shop for all of it. But we wouldn't be where we're at today without the relationship we have with them, no doubt, because of our ability to get funding to grow, and those reports, their integration, their transparency in what we're doing has allowed us to for bankers to feel very comfortable loaning us some money.